All right, welcome to the Michael Ray podcast. This is episode number 2. Today we're going to speak on the Bill of Rights. Why I want to do this is ask yourself this question as we go through this. At what point is America not America if we no longer follow the rules that make America America? So pay attention, because at the end of this podcast there's going to be a quiz. Now, the first 10 amendments to the U.S. Constitution is called the Bill of Rights. You can kind of think of them as the 10 commandments, so to speak, of the United States. These are the 10 things that our government cannot take from us. They have to honor these things, because not only are they in the Bill of Rights, they're just natural rights. In other words, just from God himself would not take your life, your liberty, and your ability to pursue happiness. So, we're going to listen to this little clip. It lasts about 3.5 minutes.
The first 10 amendments to the U.S. Constitution, also known as the Bill of Rights, were ratified or passed over 200 years ago. But even though they're a bit, old, these first 10 amendments are still the most debated and discussed section of our Constitution today. So can you remember what they are? Let's take a look. The First Amendment is the freedom of speech, press, religion, assembly, and petition. This may be the most revered of the amendments. The First Amendment protects our rights to say and write our opinions, worship how we please, assemble together peacefully, and petition our government if we feel the need. The Second Amendment is the right to bear arms. The original intent of the Second Amendment was to protect colonists from the invading British soldiers, but it now guarantees that you have the right to own a gun to defend yourself and your property. The Third Amendment is called the Quartering Amendment. It was written in response to the British occupation and as a result of the colonists having to house or quarter soldiers in their homes during the American Revolution. Because of this amendment, our government can never force us to house soldiers in our home. The Fourth Amendment is the right to search and seizure. The police can't come into our home without a search warrant and take our personal property. Today, many concerns have arisen about our rights to privacy and technology. For example, can the government track your location with your smartphone, or can social media postings such as on Facebook and Twitter be used without a warrant? On to the fifth. It's all about due process. You've probably heard the phrase, "I plead the Fifth," in movies or on TV. They're talking about the Fifth Amendment, which says that you don't have to take the witness stand against yourself if you may end up incriminating yourself. Okay, we're halfway done. The Sixth and Seventh Amendments are about how the legal system works. If you're accused of a crime, you have the right to a speedy public trial and an impartial jury. You also have the right to a lawyer and the right to take the stand if you choose. This is important because it will prevent the accused from sitting in prison forever and insist that the prosecution proceed with undue delay. The seventh says you have the right to a jury trial where 12 impartial peers decide your innocence or guilt in the courtroom, as opposed to a judge doing it all alone. The Eighth Amendment prohibits cruel and unusual punishment. Is a death penalty cruel? Is it unusual? It's hard for Americans to agree on the definitions of cruel and unusual. The Ninth and Tenth Amendments are called the non-rights amendments. They say that the rights not listed in the Bill of Rights are retained by the people in the states. You have other rights that are not listed in the Constitution, and the states have the right to make their own policies, like instituting state taxes. So, now you know all 10 amendments. Can you remember them all? If not, remember this. The Bill of Rights are a crucial piece of American history, and though society has undergone many changes these past 200 and some years, The interpretation and application of these amendments are as vital today as they were when they were written.
Okay. So let's go over the First Amendment real quick. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press or of the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. Now ask yourself, is this true today? We're going to do kind of true false answers. True, vote true if you think that the First Amendment is respected here in the United States today. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion. Now, that means everybody gets to choose the religion that they want to follow, and that the government can't mandate one single religion over everyone. In other words, they can't force you to be a member of the Church of England. That's exactly one of the reasons why we broke away. So you can have whatever religion you want, and they can't prohibit you from exercising that right. Now, freedom of speech. I think you all know, at least if you're paying attention, that we don't really have any freedom of speech anymore since the days we're living in now where something is called hate speech, and they use that as a caveat to the First Amendment. Yes, you have freedom of speech as long as I don't feel threatened by what you're saying. Well, that's not how it works. You either have freedom of speech or you don't. There are no caveats to the First Amendment. But just ask yourself, are you free to petition your government? Well, I guess you could say that yes, you are, but it depends on what you mean by being able to petition your government. How long, let's say, and a lot of times it just depends on what position you're taking. How long does it take for you to organize a petition, organize a protest? How long before the cops show up and shut you down? They're not supposed to shut you down at all. As long as you're peaceful, they're not supposed to. Let's say that you're peaceful. You're still going to get shut down. 99 out of 100 times, they're going to interfere with you one way or another. It doesn't matter how nice you are. It doesn't matter how much you point out your rights. They're going to shut you down. So go ahead. Let's just go ahead and start our quiz now. So we're going to give a thumbs up or a thumbs down to every one of the amendments, depending on if you feel like those amendments are actually being respected today, and that, yes, I do have that right and I can exercise that right freely without having to worry about the government coming and pepper spraying me, beating me with a club, or God forbid, shooting me. That one I gave a thumbs down because I pay attention and the First Amendment is being abused constantly. So let's move on to the Second Amendment. A well-regulated militia being necessary for the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. There's two really dead giveaways in this one. The right of the people, not the government, not some group. I'm going to underline it here on my page. The right of the people shall not, I'll underline that, be infringed. Or a long story short, you can't take the people's guns. They have a right to them. It doesn't matter what your feelings are. It doesn't matter if you feel threatened or if your emotions are getting the best of you. I heard this expressed. My rights don't end where your feelings begin. That's called being a grown-up, folks. Third Amendment. No soldier shall, in time of peace, be quartered in any house without the consent of the owner, nor in time of war, but in a manner to be prescribed by law. In other words, forgive me as I take a sip of water. Long story short, soldiers cannot just come into your house, eat your food, plop down in your lazy boy, and take over. Now, I've never seen that happen yet, and I hope I never do. But we certainly have police that will certainly do that. Just think of the Boston bombings, how the police went around, absolutely terrorized the neighborhoods in their riot gear. I gave that one a thumbs up just because I've never seen that happen. So on Amendment 3, I'm giving that a thumbs up. I haven't seen it happen, so I'm saying, at least for now, yes, we still have that right. Which moves us on to the Fourth Amendment. The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable search and seizures. How far down this one do I have to go? No. This is a big fat no. The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects? Are you kidding? They spy on everything we do. Every email, every phone call. They will rummage through your cell phone. Shall not be violated, and no warrant shall issue but upon probable cause. They don't even pretend probable cause anymore. Supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized. See, that's supposed to limit them down so they're not just going after anything in the house or anything on your phone. Do they do that? Do they honor that today? Absolutely not. The Fourth Amendment is completely gone. That takes us to the Fifth. No person shall be held to answer for a capital or otherwise infamous crime unless on a presentment or indictment of a grand jury, except in cases arising in the land of naval forces or in the militia, when in actual service in time of war or public danger, nor shall any person be subject for the same offense to be twice put in jeopardy. That's the double jeopardy thing you always hear about. They can't try you twice for the same crime. Nor shall be compelled in any criminal case to be a witness against himself. That's the I plead the Fifth. I'm not going to answer your questions because if I say something that I don't intend to be incriminating and somehow you construe that it is, I don't want that used against me. Nor be deprived of life, liberty, or property. Wow. Deprived of life. Well, I guess if you get murdered before you ever get to court, liberty is your freedom. Not very likely to get that. Property. Maybe your property is safe. Well, not under eminent domain, it's not. Your property is not your property. And actually, it never is. Because taxes. There's no way. I own my home, but I don't own my home. Because I have to pay taxes until I drop dead. So I don't really ever own my home. It's kind of like a lease with the option to buy. And neither do you. You don't own anything either. Probably just don't realize. Let's see. Which one was I on? Seventh Amendment? I forgot. I've lost my place. Sixth Amendment. From the fifth to the sixth. Yes, the fifth. Sorry. Went on a rant and then lost my place. Without due process of law, we now have things like the Patriot Act. They don't even pretend to give you this stuff anymore. Now, neither shall private property be taken for public use. Civil asset forfeiture. A policeman pulls you over on the freeway. You have 10 grand in cash in your car because you're going somewhere to buy a car, maybe a used car for your daughter or something. The cop takes it and says, no, that's drug money. They take it. You never see your 10 grand again. So I would say the Fifth Amendment is very much dead. And it says to be taken for public, you can't take it for public use. So civil asset forfeiture, they take your stuff and then they buy themselves stuff. or they, let's say you have a really nice truck or really nice car. They just they steal it. Let's just say what it is. They steal it and then they use it. They take it from you and they give it to themselves. That's a direct violation of the Fifth Amendment. And it says without just compensation, they're not going to compensate you. So the Fifth is completely out the window. All right, Amendment 6. In all criminal prosecutions, the accused shall enjoy the right to a speedy and public trial. Thanks for playing, but no. You can be scooped up, never seen again, never given a trial, by an impartial jury of the state in the district wherein the crime shall have been committed, which district shall have been previously ascertained by law, and to be informed of the nature and cause of the accusation. You say, well, why are you arresting me? You need to tell me. They don't tell you. To be confronted with a witness against him. In other words, you should be able to meet your accuser in a court of law to see who it is, the person that's bringing these charges against you, the one that's making this accusation. That's going to very well not happen today. To have compulsory process for obtaining witness in his favor, and to have the assistance of counsel in his defense. Well, maybe you get an attorney, but you're not going to get a very good one if they let you have one at all. Seventh Amendment. In suits at common law with a value in controversy shall exceed $20. Back then, $20 used to be a lot of money. The right of trial by jury shall be preserved. In other words, you're not allowed to do this stuff without a jury trial. And no fact tried by a jury shall be otherwise re-examined in a court of the United States than according to the rules of the common law. I gave this one a thumbs up because I just didn't see, I couldn't come up with enough examples, I guess, for that. So I gave it the benefit of the doubt. I gave that one a thumbs up. Amendment 8. Excessive bail shall not be required, nor excessive fines imposed, nor cruel and unusual punishments inflicted. I'm going to say no to that. Have you ever seen how the police treat people, like say, who don't want to get their blood drawn, for like a blood alcohol test or something like that? They literally have these torture chairs that they strap them in something out of a really gruesome movie, and they take it by force, and not nicely, not calmly. They beat the hell out of whoever the person is. They strap them down in this medieval looking chair, and they take it. So that one is a big fat no. Excessive bail. Are you kidding me? All right, Amendment 9. The enumeration in the Constitution of certain rights shall not be construed to deny or disparage others retained by the people. All right, so what number 9 and number 10 means is that unless it is written that the federal government has these constitutional rights to do this or that to you, those things that are not written, they expressly written for them to be able to do to you, they must hand that down to the state level, right? So they're supposed to give that power back down to the state. So the Ninth Amendment, I gave a thumbs up just because, again, I couldn't think of a really good example. So let's go to the 10th Amendment. The powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution, nor prohibited by it to the states, are reserved to the states respectively or to the people. So it gets handed down to the states, if not right down to the people themselves. That one I gave a thumbs down. The federal government doesn't give up any of its power, especially the stuff they make up. So I gave that one a thumbs down. So altogether, our federal government got a 30% score on this test, which is a miserable failure. And the 3 that they got right could be argued. They could have easily gotten a 0 on this exam. So I want you to do the same thing. Get the Bill of Rights out. Print it out, whatever. I printed mine out. Go through it. Read it and ask yourself, is this the right I have or not? And then give yourself a score. It's 10, it's easy to score. They got 3 thumbs up, which gave them a 30% score, not too good. And I wonder what you might score them at. But the bottom line is, like I was saying earlier, what is America? I mean, what is America? If we don't follow any of the rules, any of the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, are we really America? I would say no. Not only not America, but I mean in name only, but that has nothing to do with anything. A lot of countries that have dictators in them have the word, democracy or republic in it. It doesn't mean anything. It's just a bunch of crap. And what made us special is because we did used to follow these. That's why we were the greatest country on the planet. But now that we don't, who are we now? Well, unfortunately, we're no better than anybody else. We're no better than Venezuela. No better than any other country on the planet that doesn't obey the law. Who curtails freedom. And it's sad. I don't say this because I don't like America. I say it because I love America. And I'm ashamed that this has happened. And I think of all the men who died in all the wars before now. trying to defend an idea, only for that idea to be trampled on by the elites years to come in the future. I thank God those men never had to see the day when their country would be laid so low. All right, everybody, that wraps this one up. This has been episode 2 of the Michael Ray, I can't even say my own name, Michael Ray podcast. Number 3 will be coming pretty soon. Until then,